Don, where's Mitch McGovern at?
Yeah, look, with Mitch it was a pretty tough decision, to be honest, to not playing, but we just felt like, given the prep he'd had, obviously we brought him in for the game against Brisbane with Tex out, then he played the following week, then with the shoulder. He just needs to get back and play some footy, so give him an opportunity to do that at Sample, and then really keen to get him back in the side as soon as possible.
Is that a form thing just there?
Oh, I think he just hasn't played a lot. That's the thing. So it's a bit of match conditioning, match form. That's the main drivers.
Daniel Talia not playing. It's the first time in some time we haven't seen him play. How does the backline shape up for you now? Is Tom Doedee the number one man?
Well, we've got Alex Keith who's come in, who they've got obviously some dangerous forwards there in Himmelberg and Cameron, who's back in last week. So we've got Doedee, we've got Keith, Cole Cheney's back in the team, as well as Brody Smith. So we think we've got the capacity to cover the forwards there. It really depends on how they structure up. But obviously Daniel out is a big out. But we've got Cole Cheney back in, who was in good form before he got suspended.
Is Doedee the man to go to Jeremy Cameron?
Oh, wait and see.
Does it help a little bit that they've got the two talls, and obviously with Dawson Simpson's injury, Lob's got to play more ruck?
Well, possibly, but that's probably that's with GWS as to how they want to structure it. We'll prepare for Lob to spend time forward as well as in the ruck, and we'll see what eventuates.
Looks has been made like they've obviously caught some injuries this week, but their ins are pretty handy.
Yeah.
I guess there's no sense that you're getting them at a good time.
No, I don't think so. Not with GWS and the talent depth they've got, as you said. They lose some players, but they bring in Taranto, Shield, Griffin, and Reed, who's played some good footy for them as well. So we understand the enormity of the task we've got going up to Canberra to play GWS, who are well entrenched in the top 8. Oh, they've got a very good midfield. That's been their strength for a number of years, and tomorrow night will be a good battle for our midfield, who did a really good job last week against Port, and get another opportunity tomorrow night.
Where are you after mid-season break, restoring some confidence, got some wins? You're playing near the top of your game now?
Well, I think we're playing a lot better than we were early in the season. Obviously, getting some personnel backs helped that, and as we saw last week, I thought we played pretty well last week, and it was good to get away with a win in what was a really good game of footy. So we're sort of building, and again, but we're not in a spot where we can afford to go backwards at any point. We've got to keep winning games to give ourselves a chance of playing in September. So our form line's good. We come in confident. We come in knowing that our best is good enough against anyone, but we've got to produce that tomorrow night.
How do you combat the conditions over there? Do you have any tactics to stay warm on the sideline?
No, it's going to look. We understand it's going to be cool. That's the nature of Canberra. I played a bit of footy in Canberra when I was growing up, and you will adapt, and that's the reality. And it's going to be the same for both sides. So our guys are aware of the conditions. The conditions won't be a reason why we can play well or play poorly. It's just going to be the conditions, and our guys are professional athletes. They'll adapt.
But Riley Knight out of the team this week. Who gets a tagging role? Because they've obviously got so many great midfielders.
Yeah, well, that's something we've thrown around at match committee with Riley, and unfortunately Riley, that knee just was a bit sore, so hopefully for him it's only a week. But we've got some other guys within there that we think, depending on who we want to go to and how we want to do it.
Or an LC
well, Greenwood and LC Ullman are sort of big body guys, so they'll be sort of probably fairly well aligned with some of the guys they've got in there, the big body guys. Some of their running players we'll probably have a look at as to how we want to structure that, but I won't necessarily show my cards just yet.
With McGovern, back on it, he's in your best 22, or do you feel the game's transitioned to a bit more small forward?
No, he's in our best 22. For him, it's just he's missed a lot of footy. That's the reality. He was out for nearly 10 weeks with that ankle. We brought him back in really early on the basis of Tex being out, and he just needs to play.
So is he just not up to AFL level?
Well, at the moment, we've decided that he needs to get some runs under his belt in terms of playing sample footy, so he'll go and do that on Sunday.
Dougie comes back in. How welcome is his return against such a class midfield?
Yeah, well, Dougie's been a fantastic player at the footy club for a long period of time, and he's a guy that gives us some flexibility. He can play through half forward, through midfield, and even through half back. So great to have him back in. And again, he was close last week, but I think the extra week's probably going to be a benefit for him as well.
Don, you talk extensively, obviously, about their midfield and that, but do you combat that midfield by running with them or blocking them inside? Which is it? Yeah,
well, it's probably a combination of all. It's again, they're not the sort of midfield. In the way we play, we don't tend to run with too many players. We'll tend to back our guys in, and we understand that they've got some quality run. But it's about winning your share of the contest as well and putting some pressure on them in other ways. It's going to be a good game. I mean, two good midfielders in good form going against each other. So looking forward to it.
You
you make much of David McKay's milestone, either pre-game or during the week?
Yeah, we'll have a chat about D-Mac. I mean, fantastic achievement. 200 games of AFL footy's wonderful, and he's pretty unassuming, David. He just sort of sneaks along and racks up the games, and really good guy in the footy club, professional, super diligent, really well liked, and I know his family will be up there with him, and look forward to a good night for D-Mac.
Who's travelling as the extra?
Jake Kelly will travel as our extra emergency.
Are you taking every week as a do or die game, Don? No, your season is on the line every week.
Well, I think that's the reality of where we're at. I mean, I haven't sort of done all the maths and the machinations of win losses, what happens. I mean, the reality for us, if we can win this week and win the next two, that we can't do any more than that. So the reality is we'll control what we control, which is trying to win games of footy, and the rest will take care of itself.
There's a sense of frustration, Don, about how it's all unfolded. Do you get to this point and think, with one or two players fit, or one kick here or there, you quite easily sit fourth?
I think every side would be sitting saying, if this, if that, where they are. I mean, and we said at the start of the year, I think every coach at the start of the year after about 5 rounds was saying this is a super even year, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this competition, which on any given day anyone's capable of beating anyone else, in the top probably 12 teams, including ourselves from there up, is super even, and that's why there's not a massive gap between the first and 12th. And everyone would have a story about opportunities they might have lost, players, games, etc. And it'll even out in the end, and you'll finish where you finish. And that's the history tells me, is that generally you sort of end up where you end up for a reason of the sum of all those parts equals where you get. And right now we'll focus on trying to keep winning and give ourselves a chance.
Well, there was that speculation that Mitch McGovern was going to request a trade at the end of this season. Is that still on the cards to your knowledge, or do you think he'll be here next season?
I expect him to be here next season. I haven't heard anything further on that.
For him being out of the team, does that change anything, do you think?
No, I don't think it shouldn't. I mean, the reality is for him, it's about, as I said before, getting some games under his belt, getting his match conditioning and form back to a point where he can contribute the way we know he can. As I said before, he's in our best 22. It's just a matter of even getting back to being in that sort of condition and form to be able to play.